I had to pull my little mic out for this one. I'm happy to report that Black Republicans feel left out of Trump's second term picks. We've been watching Donald Trump pick all of these incompetent, inexperienced, lack of education, bottom of the barrel white people to head these different government agencies and departments to be a part of his administration. But before you go running over to read this article in its entirety, it's some parts of it is going to upset you because, here's a snippet. Now, none of these people who are providing information that makes up this article are willing to put their names to what they have to say. They're not willing to do that. One, because they don't want to be shunned by the Black community. And two, they don't want to damage relationships with Donald Trump. But this is what one of the operatives had to say. That's what they're calling these Black Republicans who contributed or provided information to this article. Quote, "The Republican Party has never really fallen into the category of representation matters. Our strength comes from diversity. There is no diversity in the Republican Party." But that is not our bumper sticker slogan. It's not your bumper sticker slogan because it doesn't exist in the Republican Party. Goes on to say, "We're not going to nominate Black folks for the sake of nominating Black folk." And that is a direct quote. This is a popular white supremacist tactic. We choose all of the white people who are in these different positions, not just in Donald Trump's cabinet, but in boardrooms across the country, in top management at corporations across the country. The white supremacist talking point, the white supremacist ideology is that they are more superior because they are white. But they tell Black people that the reason why you aren't chosen is because white people are more intellectual, more educated, more experienced. And these Black people in the Republican Party parrot the white supremacist ideology, the white supremacist talking point, the racist ideology, the racist talking point. The truth of the matter is that Black people are just as intellectual, experienced, and capable of running these departments across the country and in Donald Trump's cabinet. The Black operative, the Black Republican, also noted that Black Republicans have made strides in leadership across the country. Senator Tim Scott will chair the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Representative Byron Donalds is speculated as possibly running for governor or U.S. Senate in Florida. And Winsome Sears is seeking to become the first Black female governor in the country in Virginia. Seeking to become, not is. Byron Donalds is seeking to become the governor of Florida or a U.S. senator, but not is, wasn't appointed. And Tim Scott is where he is in spite of the white supremacist ideology, the racist ideology that they are superior intellectually. He's made it in spite of, meaning he had to work 10 times harder to get to where he is. And he had to work 10 times harder to get to where he is because he didn't have individuals in positions that will just appoint him to certain positions. Like Donald Trump is just appointing incompetent, inexperience, and individuals who lack the education into those positions. The article also states, quote, I don't think disruption really leans into our skill set the way things are currently set up. We have to play things a little bit differently. There's no black Republican version of Matt Gaetz. They don't last. Yeah, that's because the scale is not weighed fairly. It's not an even scale. So Matt Gaetz can be a pedophile. Matt Gaetz can be a chaotic obstructionist. Matt Gaetz can go around and spew racist and white supremacist ideology, discriminate against people in marginalized groups, and still get ahead. You black Republicans can't be loud and proud with that because it will count against you. Why? Because you're black. Quote, those of us who have survived and been there for years and made it work have done so by being steady, consistent, reliable, and trustworthy. End quote. Yeah, and not speaking out when Republicans do wrong. Not using your voice to speak out against their racism and their white supremacy. Yeah, that's why you have to keep your head down. You have to remain silent, because if you don't, you'll find yourself outside of the club. The article also talks about how the one black job that remains consistent with Donald Trump in his first presidency and now going into his second presidency is the HUD director. That's the one black job that remains consistent with Donald Trump. It also talks about Ben Carson, the former black that held that position over HUD, how he talks about possibly being a part of Donald Trump's administration, but he admits it won't be as Surgeon General. Dr. Ben Carson, one of the top neurosurgeons in the country, he knows he won't be picked for Surgeon General. But yeah, he might work with the Donald Trump administration.